up with Dr. Leyland. Step into the future, the world is waiting now. Dreams are in the making, we'll show you how. From the books to the screen, from the stage to the stars. Level up your game, let's raise the bar. Innovation, inspiration, it's in our DNA. Breaking through the limits, we're paving the way. Level up, reach the sky, take the lead, don't be shy. Your story's worth it, your light will shine. At Level Up Academy, it's your time. Oh, it's your time. At Level Up Academy, we rise and climb. Empowered in your passion, your voice will be heard. Building a legacy with every word. From podcasts to pages, from business to art. Level Up's the place where it all can start. With heart and with vision, we're chasing every goal. Together we'll ignite the fire in your soul. Level up, reach the sky, take the lead, don't be shy. Your story's worth it, your light will shine. At Level Up Academy, it's your time. Oh, it's your time. At Level Up Academy, we rise and climb. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Oh, we're trailblazing, breaking through the mold. Dreams are alive, let your story unfold. With courage and pride, we'll take the fight. At Level Up, we own the night. Level up, reach the sky, take the lead, don't be shy. Your story's worth it, your light will shine. At Level Up Academy, it's your time. Oh, it's your time. At Level Up Academy, we rise and climb. So let's level up and never look back. On the road to greatness, we're on the right track. Together we'll soar, together we'll thrive. At Level Up Academy, we're alive.
Whoa! Hopefully you guys can hear me. I have a new mic, so if you can't hear me, that's your fault. I mean, my fault. I mean, nobody's fault. Happy Sunday, everybody. It's gonna be another beautiful week. It is the 3rd week of March. This is still International Women's Month, okay? Forget the day. I'm celebrating Girls' Night Out today, according to my sister, Susanna. See if you guys actually know what we mean by tonight. Anyways, happy St. Patrick's, okay, weekend. Yes, I am wearing green. I am not Irish, but my husband is. And so I have to wear green because I do not want you to touch me and pinch me, like even virtually. No, that is a no. Anyhow, tonight's conversation is super important because we are actually talking about, I really like what Kim McNeely is teaching. So she's teaching a lot of like harmony and basically peace. And it's a ancient Chinese way of doing it. And I have attended some of her, it's really early in the morning. It's like 7 CST. So it's probably like what, 5 a.m. PST. So it's super early, but she did it one time with me at night. And I was so grateful for her showing me, you know, what does that mean in terms of the Chinese history and the background of peace and harmony that she is actually doing. And I've always said I prefer harmony over balance because there is no such thing as I'm going to balance work life, because life is going on even if you are at work. And sometimes if you don't feel like you belong, okay, at work, then life still will take over on anything, right? So tonight we're going to talk about AI everywhere versus digital minimalism. The battle is on because, right? I'm going to give you some stats. Okay. So, first information, this is a 2025 AI across global business globally. So, global adaptation or adoption, approximately about 77% of companies are either using or exploring the use of AI in their operations. This is from the National University, okay, because we do research. Large enterprises in the United States, over 50% of companies with more than 5,000 employees have implemented AI solutions. Now, this figure actually rises to over about 60% among companies employing more than 10,000 staff. Think about it, right? Basically, what they're saying is the bigger the company, the more AI that they're actually using and exploring at this point. This is from GPT 0. And then small businesses, about 40% of small US businesses are actually using generative AI tools, a notable increase from 20%, this is 2 years ago, 2023, to 64% today, okay, using AI or plan to do so in the next 2 years. And again, this is from GPT 0. Now, industry leaders, that's you and I, sectors such as information services, manufacturing, healthcare, education, anything at the forefront, is approximately 12% adoption rates compared to 4% in construction and retail. So construction and retail are using the one of the lowest AI right now, but everybody else is around 12%. Okay, so those data again are from GPT 0. You can look it up yourself, but that is crazy. So if you're one of these people, I know a couple of them saying, I don't use AI in my writing, and my say is you should. Mm, I'm not trying to be mean or catty or anything like that. It's just you are going to be you guys have to learn, right? Human being behaviors, it's a pendulum. It goes back and forth. Learn about what Netflix, right? Learn about all these case studies that you actually have seen in your own eyes, right? If you've seen Blockbuster and Netflix taking over Blockbuster, learn from that, right? Amazon taking over all small businesses, it's not a good thing, but learn from that. Basically, it's going to mow you down if you're actually not in it. It's like a magnet, right? It's either you're repelling or you're continuing. But you have to differentiate yourself as a human being as well. And that's what we're trying to figure out tonight, the conversation. And I cannot wait for my sisters to actually have this conversation because in a world where AI is revolutionizing work, creativity, and daily life, the rise of being digital minimalist actually reminds us to slow down and be intentional on those networking conversations or meeting new people and focus on what truly matters. Slow down a bit, right? Because these two forces don't have to be at odds at all. The key is trying to find harmony within them because AI can enhance your productivity without leading to burnout, but you have to use it at a pace where it's mindful, not copy and paste. You got to use your constructive criticism as well in your brain cells, okay? Now, digital minimalist isn't anti-technology, by the way. They're about using the tech with purpose, but not letting it control them. So the future isn't about choosing AI or disconnection, it's about conscious technology use. So that's what we're going to talk about in details tonight and how we can embrace this tool rather than a distraction, but making it a space for real world connections like what we three have. We talk about, I mean, we use AI, believe it or not, right? All three of us use AI. I create bots and things like that. But AI doesn't make our friendship. Having conversations using the phone, using the Zoom makes us connect. Okay. So that's one little hint of where this conversation is going. Anyhow, let me go through Susanna. Ooh, I need to redo this. I need new pictures. She's given me a lot of pictures, but my butt's just been busy. Yeah, we're gonna go with that. And if you are a corporation right now, looking for someone to consult within your business when it comes to productivity and belonging, please go ahead and ask my sister Susanna or DM me, and I will be happy to introduce you to her for her consulting services. Okay. And then my influencing you, I was there live on Friday. I went over the statistics. I'm going to go again, I believe, this Friday for another conversation. So keep that in mind. Around Wednesday or Thursday, I usually show you what the topics are. Okay. And then this one's coming up. And I yes, I know I'm delaying it, huh? I am definitely delaying it, but I wanted to actually get it out this weekend, so we'll see. And then hopefully we'll get our physical copy a week after that as well. And then our magazine, okay, is actually coming out. This is called Disrupt and Dominate. It's coming out this in 2 weeks as well. So there's a lot happening here, guys. Okay. And then, of course, one of these days, I'm gonna create a video on the technology, the microphones, the cameras, the gadgets that I'm using for all my content creation, including lighting, so that you can actually kind of peek through content creation and what I do. I was in on TikTok last night. I thought I was only gonna do one hour because I was so tired, but I end up doing 2 hours. I was like, okay. And then something in the algorithm I did. I don't exactly know what I did, but I got an email after that and said, "Hey, do you want to create your TikTok agency?" And I don't know what I kind of know what it is, but I said, "Okay." And I don't know if I got in. So we'll see how that goes. I must have been talking to AI for TikTok, but I did something to unlock something. I love it. It's like AI and real people, right? So that is this conversation. That's why it was born because of that. Like I didn't understand what I did, but I did something good, and the only thing I can think of was because I was there for 2 hours. So I don't know. Anyway, that conversation's for another day. Okay. Academic publishing. I'm going to be putting registration to come into our summit April 28th and 29th. Please have your registration ready because we're going to be coming right to you with what we have found out in our study. And then, of course, my my sister brother Mike is here, and also Hounds of Business community member and CEO and founder of Hounds of Business. He is the only brother sister right now that we have together here because that's how we roll. All right, and let's see. Is there anything else I want to talk about? No, not really. So we're just gonna open up. I feel like dancing. I don't know why. I'm having lavender in my coffee. This is actually rice coffee, but I'm having lavender in it. So, how are you guys doing? No one's talking today. We're gonna be Mr. Bean.
Mm-hmm. Why not?
Why not? I'm exhausted this weekend. Like honestly, I think since Thursday night I've been sleeping 2, 3 in the morning for curriculum development. It's kicking my butt. I think because I want it to be perfect, and then I change my mind, and then when I change my mind, I have to redo everything. So if I change one thing, like in the final, I have to redo everything for 5 weeks, including their homeworks, assignments, discussion boards, everything. So then I changed it twice. I'm like, CJ, stop. Like, you're never going to get finished. So my ADHD was taking over this weekend in my head. And I think I'm making more work than necessary. Like, I came in confident, and now I'm like, I'm not so sure anymore. Like, it's kind of weird. But I was loving the fact that I have control over my students' journey, right? And I did use a little bit of AI because we have to create this class for AI. So that is the conversation, sister. AI everywhere is everywhere. It's not gonna stop because we don't feel like having it in our business. It's gonna be there. So you might as well be the adapter, right? Um, but also finding that harmony of like the humanness. That's a conversation I want to have tonight. So I'm going to start with you, Danielle. Like, how do you use AI and how do you find either harmony or balance between human connections, because you're a networker, and using AI? Like, how does it help you?
Hmm. Um, I think AI truly is like a tool for me. It's almost like your Google, or I guess like Ask Jeeves. It's a tool that we can use to kind of guide us sometimes when we need it, like when we can't think of generating ideas. That's when AI I use that. But when I'm somewhere like networking, I try to be immersed in that, to not lose sight of that human connection and that networking and like genuinely trying to get to know people. So I don't know if I answered your question, but I think I did.
It is a full of ADHD weekend this weekend. How about you, sister?
For me, the only way I would actually I think about using the AI is just assisting in whatever I'm writing or ideas I'm trying to create, or even just helping me upgrade my website. I don't exactly see how it has value on the networking side, because I'm thinking of networking in terms of in person, which I don't do enough of anyway. So it's, to me, it's just it's that tool to help grow and look at ways to improve. And the whole purpose that I look at is, with AI, it's asking the questions, seeing what it comes back with, and then just trying to make sure that whatever whatever I do write, it's in my words and not the AI words.
Yeah, that's a battle of universities right now. Like, how can you tell if your students are writing in AI and not? I said A, the way they speak in class, because I require people to speak or chat. And their thought process is almost between 20% to 80%. Like 20% when they're speaking, but they're getting the point at 80%. And I also know that when I ask them questions, when they think about it too long or they hem and haw, but they have really good points in the homework, I'm like, I don't want to catch them and say, oh, you use AI. I said, use your assignment. Like, you know what you wrote in your assignment? Elaborate on that on question number 2. What do you mean by that? And they know I know without saying, and they're like, yeah, let me think about that, Dr. Leela. I'm like, especially in the next assignment. Yeah. I kind of drop the hint. Like, I'm not going to say anybody to tell you that you're cheating or you use AI. But honestly, and I also remind them of ethical considerations, you're actually not cheating on me and the class. You're cheating on yourself, because learning is about learning. It's about thinking. It's about thinking outside of the box, thinking about innovation, thinking about how you can do better. So if you're going to use AI for everything, especially thinking, it's like a muscle, right? So if you don't use your muscles, and let's say like you got sick, my stepdad got sick, got a stroke, and he was in the hospital for a week, and he lost all of his like masses on his legs because he couldn't walk. Now he can't still walk, right? It's the same thing. If you continue to use AI for your constructive criticism and your thought process, it's memory muscles. It's going to be gone. Like, you need to use that as a tool, right? Like, that's how I feel about that. Now, let me actually ask you in terms of, like, what do you do on a daily basis, sister, for um keep it simple, especially when you have conversations with someone, but then like sometimes you have the need to, like, I wonder what AI says about this. Like, how do you actually, because I know my brain's like that, like, okay, I thought about this, but what do you think about this? I feel like AI is like an enhancer. What do you think, Danielle? Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think it's an enhancer. Like if I need quick information and I need it synthesized quickly, like to me, I go to the legal bot just to guide me in the conversation or what I'm analyzing or putting out. Like I do equal employment, Office of Civil Rights. There's a lot of laws that change, especially in California. So to me, it just enhances what I already know or think. And then I just use that information to kind of guide what I'm going to say or add to what I'm going to say, like sugar in your coffee or creamer, like hazelnut creamer or something.
I love hazelnut too. I like what April's saying. I use AI, April's intelligence. That's right, right? I mean, seriously, I think AI is like, if people tell me, "Oh, I don't ever use AI," I think you're lying. I think you're lying for sure. There are other people out there that like not using it often, but to say that you never use AI ever, it's hard to believe. That's all I'm gonna say, right? But again, how are you going to use AI if you're having this conversation live, like right away, and you're not able to actually think right away on what you're going to say? That's going to be weird. Can you imagine having a conversation with someone? You're like, what happened? I'm like, let me type this, what AI says. Hello? Like, use your brain, right? Now, the world is literally is going to be like tech driven. All those things that you've seen in movies where like the robots are taking over, I feel like that's coming up. How are we going to make sure that our businesses, our personal productivity, our education, and our humanness, I call that, to keep it human? How do we make sure of that, Susanna?
To keep it human, that's going to be. There's so much science fiction out there right now that it's hard to differentiate, because you can watch almost any of those sci-fi movies and they get to total destruction in so many different ways. So how are you going to keep it human is finding ways to put boundaries on it in terms of what it can do and what you're going to ask it. I mean, we've got so many things that we can use it for and it benefits, but it's also going to depend on the people that are using it and how they decide to use it and what they start asking and, quite frankly, what they start teaching it. How are you supposed to police that kind of a thing? Because you don't know what people are doing. You don't know how they're training AI, especially that then it comes down to what kind of lockdowns you have on it. Because I mean, we talk about how we basically keep it in-house for ourselves so that it's not taking our ideas out into the public. But what are some people doing that they're training their own AI then within house? And I'm creating a sci-fi story now, and I don't want to go there anymore. It is
That's so funny. Oh my God. Hello, YouTube. Okay, so I'm going to talk about the benefits and the challenges of concerns of AI that I see. I think the benefits that I see as a user for over a year and a half now is increased efficiency and productivity. Like, I feel like I have 46 assistants, literally, right? It also enhances my ability to make decisions with big data. So, for example, I need statistics on all the persona for the people that I'm selling my products to. I could do it. I've done it on my dissertation manually. It's going to take me sometimes a year to synthesize data because research is crazy. You have to look at it. Once you look at it, you read the whole thing, then you read the methodology, then you got to read the literature, and then you're like, oh wait, this doesn't even make sense. So you wasted 6 hours on something that doesn't make sense. And then you go to the next data and then you go to the next data. So I see AI enhances big data insight so I can make quick decisions, which is great. That's what I use data for. Data analysis. I love the personalized experience in all aspects of my life. Like my bots literally is for me and my sisters. Like Susanna's like, oh, I'm like, oh, I can make a bot. Oh, I can make a bot for that. And so like I listen to their needs and what they complain about sometimes, like often. And I'm like, oh, I can make a bot for that. And then I make a bot. I'm like, okay, test it. Right. It's because it's customized for that. And I think Bella and I had this conversation. She hates AI and she hates technology and she hates that, but she has to use it at school. And I said, why do you hate it? And she's like, I think people are lazy to think, especially the kids at my school. They use AI for everything until we had a policy where we can no longer use it. And our teachers literally make us write it by hand in class and turn it in. I was like, what? And they're like, yeah, he write it in class. And then he was like, okay, now scan it, put it and upload it on the website, but it's handwritten. And I was like, ooh, you know, like we're gonna go 1980s. Okay, let's go, right? Like if things and writing. But I love that because it enhances. And then economic growth and new job opportunities. There are jobs that are losing a lot of it because it's automated. Um, don't complain. Go figure out how you're going to use AI to enhance your abilities so you can get a job right away. Right? Complaining doesn't help, by the way. It actually depresses you. Just FYI, it makes you really hate life. It depresses you, and it's like you want to give up because you just lost your ability to make money. But take that as an opportunity for growth so that you can learn something new and just embrace AI altogether. Not at 100% because that's kind of scary, but at least like at 50%. Put a governor, okay? Now, the challenges and concerns that I have is the privacy risk and surveillance issue. Because even though I have data controls and I always say, hey, sister, you know, turn it off, how much really of that is turned off in the back end? Because I don't do the coding part of AI. It's not like I can do open AI and look at that because it's an open source. I don't know if you guys know that, right? Everybody can use it. It's open source. And we're using customized bots from ChatGPT because we're coding it on the back end. But even then, it's not even coding because it's not HTML or Java, right? So how much is it really that we're saying, take it, make millions, billions of them? Also, job displacements due to automation. That's disheartening to me, honestly, right? And then digital fatigue from constant engagement with AI driven products. Literally, it's so exhausting. Which AI is this? Which I'm like, you know what? Stop. Just sing and dance, CJ. Let's just stop. And then the last but not the least actually is ethical concerns around decision making. Are you making the decision? Is the AI making the decision for you? Right? Because you're lazy to actually do it and think about what you're going to do for yourself. So those are the benefits and challenges. How about you, Danielle? What are some of the things that you've seen, benefits or concerns of AI?
I think for me, when you're reading something from someone, you can tell if it's authentic or not. And so me, that's the biggest thing. Are we losing ourselves to AI, and our personal touches on things, our voices? Is it being lost in our messages, or in what we're saying? So I guess that's the challenge. And also, I guess for me, like in the job that I do, we still have to look at the law. We still have to look at what's there. We cannot take all of our information from an AI source, because you have to fact check it. So to me, those challenges can be huge, especially if government or people are using it, because like I use it for, hey, give me a rundown on what this law is. Synthesize it, summarize it for me, but I'm going to go and fact check it. So, I mean, the concerns are, when people are using it, are they using it as a tool, or is it speaking for them? And also, are there authentic voices still within those documents itself? So, I think I answered the question, but there goes my ADHD again.
I know. I think it's the alignment is going to be a lot of misaligned conversations
Mm-hmm.
until it aligns, because I think people are going to use AI a lot even on those conversations. And because they don't have the experience that AI is giving them, but it sounds good, they're going to go with it, but they can't actually carry the conversation because they're not experienced with it. So then there's going to be a lot of misalignment. So that's what I'm going to look for conversations is what you're saying, what you're doing, and is what you're doing what you're saying, right? What about you, Sister Susanna? What is the benefits or challenges of AI that you think?
Well, okay. The first benefit I'm going to go into is images, because now I can do images that I couldn't do before. Being able to do that, I mean, the book cover for the last book was, I think all of our books have, it's been AI, which means, okay, you want to talk job loss in a way, it means that you're using the AI for it, not going and hiring somebody to help you create that book cover that you want. Pluses and minuses. just in that aspect, there's advantages to working with somebody, because when you say you want to change these things or this is what you want, they're going to understand better than AI, because it's all training on that. At the same time, depending on how you approach it, you can get something out of AI and you just kind of sit back and go, oh wow, that's even better than I thought in my head. Then you've got to deal with what people are using, how they're using it to write, and like you've both said, you want to make sure that what is being written, you need to understand it. You need to, whatever it gives you, you need to understand what it is it gave you, and quite frankly, ask for sources on this stuff. Because if you're not asking for sources, if you don't know where it's coming up with this information, you don't even know if it's real. So you think about the people that just take whatever chat GPT or whatever system they're using, they just take what's written and then start spewing it like it's biblical. And the next thing you know is they're sounding like idiots because the sources don't even exist. There isn't anything out there that says what they're spewing. It's just, it was made up by ChatGPT or AI somewheres, because it took this conglomerate of stuff and then put it together and said, here you go. This sounds good. This answers what you want. And if they don't know how to work with it, if they don't know how to train it, if they don't know how to ask for sources and verify those sources, they're going to look like an idiot. Sorry.
ID 10T, ID 10T.
I thought you were gonna start singing a song as a.
Oh, yeah, I could.
Just
I,
sometime.
I know that's so true. I just sing randomly, like, ooh. I was looking at AI, asking AI, like, hey, were you ever having some notable examples that you were wrong? And it gave me a whole bunch of lists, but I asked for the top 5, and it says the first one was in Michigan, Robert Williams was wrongly arrested due to facial recognition system misidentifying him as a suspect in a theft case. Despite clear differences between Williams and the actual suspect, the AI system's error led to his arrest, highlighting the potential pitfalls of over reliance on AI without human oversight. This is from People. Second one is AI generated evidence in legal filings. So, in recent case, an Australian lawyer used ChatGPT to draft a court document, which included references to non-existent cases. So, the AI generated content was not verified. Susanna's example, leading to submission of inaccurate information to the court. So then this incident underscores the risk of uncritically accepting AI outputs in legal context. This is on The Guardian, by the way. Number 3, invalidated or unvalidated AI tools in criminal investigations. So they have CyberCheck, which was developed by Global Intelligence. They were employed in criminal investigations to locate individuals using open source data and algorithms. But its accuracy and credibility were questioned when reports suggesting tool often provided unsupported or incorrect data, right? Fourth one was generated child abuse material cases in Mississippi. A teacher was arrested for allegedly using an AI program to create child sex abuse videos involving students. But the AI generated content led to legal actions, raising ethical and legal questions about the use of AI in creating explicit materials. And then the last one is challenges with AI in legal testimonies. There have been instances where AI generated content that has been presented in court without proper verification. So if you see right there, like AI can sift through, but I think at the beginning, because people input information, AI sees that as data. It doesn't say like, oh, you're wrong. Oh, wait, you're correct, right? So because of these things, what I do with my bots is I try to find credible sources, because I always demand that from my students. If it's medical, it has to be PubMed, NIH, like some government things that we can actually see and verify, so that when it spewed something for me, then I know it's coming from these sources, not just from random AI. And that's why I like customized bots, because what it does, it's specifically for me. Think about like TikTok, how powerful they are. And I think Instagram is starting to do that now in their beta mode, because what does TikTok is, and Bella and I were talking about this during breakfast today, is the For You page, FYP, meaning like what it is actually, what you're seeing is different than what Susanna is seeing, and different is what Danielle is seeing, is because it studies your behavior on what you scroll, what you hit like, and what you hit and comments. And then it's going to give you more of that. So what's trending in your FYP doesn't mean it's trending in the world. It just means it's trending in your FYP, because our world has become very customized, because of all this noise that we have, like so many content creators, so many streamers, so many blah, 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 so many coaches. So now what we need is more customized to what we like, based on what AI thinks what we like. And this is where human interactions and human things are really important. And I'm going to go back to my good old word choice. Okay? Because what you choose is what you're going to get, especially with AI as we evolve more on it. So, Danielle, how do you make sure that you educate your children in the use of AI ethically?
Hmm. I think, parenting, just like networking, we have to be present, you know. Um and we have to use, oh, here's this word from my sister's, discernment, when we are approaching things, right? So, you have to teach our kids, like, not everything, even though it makes it easy, is necessarily right. I mean, truth and rightness is relative anyways, depending on where you are. But I think that if we're present with our kids, like we would be in networking, um, we can't lose that human connection, and we can't lose those opportunities to educate them when we see, not just in hey buddy, don't use that to write your whole essay, right? But also, when it's good, like, this is what we're supposed to use it for, but don't let it take your voice. So I guess for me, parenting has to be hands-on. And like even today, like with Ezra, they sing in the choir at church, and he freaked out and he had an anxiety attack. Ooh, I don't know if he's gonna like me talking about, but just like that situation, you have to stop. You have to, it's time to be parent. I had to hug him, calm him down, let him know that it's okay. And in the situation of AI, same thing. Like, I know it's easy, but we got to take time to parent them and to not lose sight of, that interaction to have with someone. And I think this goes for any situation, even at work. And maybe that's why I talk about heart and empathy. Is that you AI is a tool, and it's great for productivity and synthesizing large data points. But we shouldn't lose sight of those interactions and those relationships that really power AI, right? So we don't have to think of it as taking over, but think of it as an opportunity, like CJ said, to reinvent, to be flexible, and to use it as a tool. And I would say I that's my same approach, with work and also with my kids. So sorry, I went on a tangent a little bit, but whatever.
That's how we roll. How about you, sister? How are you going to make sure? Because I know sometimes you feel overwhelmed too. Like, we had a conversation, I think, a couple of days ago about, I don't remember what we were talking about. I think it was for the academic publishing and the prompting, right? Like, you're like, oh man, I wish I had Plot on right now, because we have conversations where I have no idea what I said, but it was so good at the moment. Like, it was so good. And you're like, what did you say? I'm like, I don't know. It just came out. Like, that's what happens, right? And she's like, oh crap, I write slow. So I was like, okay, don't worry. I'm just going to do it myself. So I think also when you use AI, guys, I'm just going to give you a little hint. And by the way, hi, Dina, you're in our LinkedIn. So welcome. It won't be, your comments actually won't be shown here. Jay, hello. April, Dr. New, welcome back. Of course, my brother from the PI, kumusta ka na, Homer? Maayong gabi or mayong buntag. And of course, Lisa and Salami and M. Arif, welcome. So prompting is something that you need to learn how to do. And Susanna actually, like for me, it comes naturally, but Susanna's like, well, I can prompt, but I don't have experience on the marketing end side. So when I ask questions, it's totally different because we were asking the same questions, right, from the AI
Mm-hmm.
because we want the same thing, but my prompting is different than her prompting, and hers was so generic that the answer she got was so generic. I was so confused, and I was like, I don't understand what. So let me ask it. So then I asked it, and it gave me what I needed. It made me think like I preach all the time about you need to learn how to prompt properly, right? And that literally reiterated the need and the importance and the necessity of your ability to ask ChatGPT, especially if it's a customized bot, correctly. And that's why I have a bot that creates a bot, and I also have a bot that creates prompt to be a prompter bot. Like it's because see, when I have conversations with my sisters, they gave me I'm always on the solution end, so they give me ideas on how I can solve problems um to help them. And if they're having that issue, I know they're not alone, that other people are also having issue. But what I'm having issue is releasing my babies. I'm not I'm not ready. Like I'm not ready to give birth to my bots for the world. I'm only doing it for my sisters. I have about 45 or 46 bots right now. I was actually only wanting to do 30, but I got addicted to it. And then I realized, wait, CJ, why don't you just make a bot to create a bot? I'm like, oh, that would so cut my time. And I did. It cut my time. I went from like 15 bots or 5 bots in like hours or days. And then I did 12 bots in like, I don't know how long. And then I did 20 bots in like this. Like I was spitting out like nobody. I was like a manufacturer of bots because I figured how to create a bot for a bot and how to create a prompt so that you can create a bot so then it would be good customization for you. I know it sounds so like crazy right now. But I love to stay human. I also love relationship because all of these things that we're having a conversation on doesn't really matter. If you can't connect with me and I don't trust you, I don't care how smart you are. I don't care what your title is. I don't care what you do. I don't care your society standings are. If I see that you're scheming little, you know what, and you're a user, I would not want you in my circle. That's just not who we want. Yes, we don't agree on everything that we do. Susanna or Danielle and I, we don't agree on everything that we do. We have debates, but it doesn't go to the point where it's disrespectful. It just goes to prove our point and what we're point, and then we're over it. One thing probably that's a plus for us is because we do forget every 5 seconds of what we said. We don't harbor emotions like that, right? Like, what did you say? I don't know. Why were you mad? I don't know. Let me just eat.
Leo
Exactly.
said that.
Right? I have motion.
Leo said that yesterday. He's like, I'm sorry that you were mad earlier. And I was like, I don't remember why I was upset. Like, I literally just will stay whatever is right on the tip of my tongue. And I'll be like, I didn't like that you did. Can you next time? And then I'm like, I don't remember. I really don't remember. I really don't.
Sure, that's a plus for ADHD, guys. So we don't remember what we said, which is a bad thing too, because if it's important, that's when you need to catch us. I really have really great conversations with Susanna when we're on the phone, but we don't really have plot all the time. So I don't know what to tell you with that one. I do want to end this conversation, and I want to ask you guys your last minute thoughts on being digital minimalist. What do you think you could do to help others who are so glued into their phone, which is me, by the way, too? But I need to be mindful and create boundaries. Like today, I had breakfast with Bella. We went to H Mart. I spent a lot of money, but it was fun. And Not one time I was on my phone.
Mm.
That was nice. I was very intentional though, because she complains like, "Mom," and I have to think. I'm like, "Wow, my daughter is 18 this year. She's gonna leave the nest again, and I am scrolling on my effing phone. I can do that when she leaves. Like, I'm not doing that,
Mhm.
right?" And I celebrate when I don't do nothing. Well, I did something, but like not work related. I celebrate. I'm like, yeah, I didn't do my work. Oh, you gotta wait till later. Like, like I was pointing out my work as if it was my enemy. It was hilarious. But I celebrated it because I wanted to make sure that my brain accepts it so that it doesn't bother me. Because if it bothers me, I can't sleep and it doesn't give me peace.
Mhm.
So that's how I create boundaries in my head to make sure that I can. I think you need days where you just unplug. What do you think?
Mhm.
Do you unplug, or are you always on?
Mm. Uh, Me?
Yeah.
Oh no, I need to unplug. For me, that looks like tennis. I do not answer my phone on the tennis court. That's my time. That's the time that I take to just reset. So, and also like when I'm in church, my phone is with me, but it's on do not disturb, so my sisters can get to me or if Leo has an emergency. But I think that time to unplug is important to center yourself and to ground yourself.
Mhm.
Um, and I think that old saying goes, you just put whatever's there for you work wise or what you need to get to on your phone can wait. Like your kids, your family, the relationships, those things are fleeting. So it's important to, you know, plug into that and unplug from this digital world that, you can plug into later.
Yeah. For those of you who have friends who are online only, it's okay. Just use Zoom. And then if you can, try
Mhm.
to meet them in real life. That should be the challenge that you have in life. Try to meet them in real life and see, because sometimes people are so good online, but when you meet them, it's awkward as heck. Um, I had a lesson on that last year. Yeah, I had a lesson on that where the person was like so amazing online, and then I met them, they're like, ugh. But then I also have an amazing session with my sister Susanna where I met her in real life and she thought I was crazy online. She figured out that was consistent actually online and offline. So I love that. How about you, sister? What's your last minute information on um, your take on AI versus being a digital minimalist?
I I look at it's a balancing act between the two of them,
Mhm.
and being able to use AI in certain situations, but not rely on it for everything. 'Cause I think some people they go too far. It becomes the be all end all, and like I said, especially if they're not verifying anything, it's not. Ultimately, it's going to hurt them. It's not going to help them. Um, Having that the minimalist, I have to have those times that I unplug, and I mean, you already know. For me, unplugging, I I'll go to church, but especially going to the forest and being able to go into the forest where awareness is really at the top of what I do, of being able to look around and no longer, it's Athena's fault, but no longer walk through the forest looking at the ground, because that's really what most people do. They're looking at the ground, especially if they're off the hardball trails, and they're focused more on where their step is. If it's been raining, where's the puddle? How do they get around it? How do they make sure they don't trip and fall? But I've been in it so often now that awareness is really keeping my head up most of the time, looking around, watching the forest change in real time, and this is a whole lot better than focusing on AI and even if I'm on the phone with one of you two, then it's really more like walking through the forest with you. It's not, to me, it's not technology at that point. It's just a phone call. And you never know what we're going to come up with as we're talking on the phone either, whether there's something going on or whether it's just finding that as we talk and go roundabout and suddenly we hit on a topic or an idea or something and it blossoms. Is like, okay, how do we make sure that we get this written down so that we don't lose it?
Plot. Plot, but we don't have plot all the time. Yeah, I actually love that idea too of making sure that we're spending more time. And so I have been spending more time like outside my phone and trying to be intentional as much as I can. Um, because again, my kids, like my first one's gone. She's actually still in Italy right now. My second one, she's going to be going to college after this year, like after, well, senior year and then gone, right? So I'm gonna be like empty nester. I got into an argument with someone yesterday. Wait, no, Friday at Subway. Um, so there's this thermostat that gets covered with the chips, and I've been there, so I know the manager, I know all the workers, except for this new boy. I don't know him, but I know pretty much everyone. And when they change it, and so I go there. Literally, when you see my face to go to Subway, I don't have to say anything. My order, they know exactly what it is. So there's this kid and the mom, and the kid was pushing the thermostat at 90 degrees, and it needs to be 70 because everything, the meats and all that, has to be cold at Subway, right? So I gave the mom a look without saying, like, your kid, like I didn't say anything. And then I think finally the manager said, "Hey, can you stop your kid from doing that? Like, hey kid, stop." Like he just said that, right? And the mom went off on him. You can't tell my kid what to do. And let's just say that I intervene and I told her to get the out of the thing, because if she's not going to pay for hundreds of dollars of this meat and everything else. And then she had the audacity to turn and she's like, "What do you know? You've never had kids." I wish Bella was there. And I said, "How do you know that I don't have kids? My kids would never be allowed to run around in this store like this." And then I had more colorful words. And a kid literally sat there still, about to cry, looking at his mama. And I was ready. I was really ready. I was livid. And I was willing to pay for their sandwiches because they already ordered. And the manager's like, "CJ, your sandwich is free today. And these sandwiches go to the trash. Thank you for doing that." People, if you're a parent, okay, don't assume that everybody doesn't have kids because they're telling you. And if someone has to step up telling you that you need to get your kids corralled, you need to reflect on the mirror. A stranger shouldn't have to tell you. I'm not a Karen like that, okay? I don't like, kids are kids, they run around or whatever, okay? But getting the temperature at 90 degrees, almost 100 degrees, 98 degrees on a Subway where all the meats are there, like think for a minute, okay? But yeah, I was so feisty on Friday. Let me tell you, you didn't want to talk to me on Friday. I was breathing, huffing, and puffing. I had to go to Vaughn's to get myself calm. And I hope to God no one talks to me at Vaughn's, because I was like, I could feel my ears like on fire. I've never been upset like that for a long time. And I was like, wow, CJ, you're getting too old. You're not getting wrinkles right now. But that made me upset that A, she didn't have control over her children, and B, how dare you say and assume that I don't have kids and I have no rights to tell you? I'm like, what? I wish Bella was here. She'd put you down right now being a parent. Are you kidding me? But please watch your children, okay, people? I think you're too much on the iPad. The kids are too much on the iPad and they think everything is a cartoon. It's not. They're still real life. And make sure that you talk to your children. I'm not saying spank the heck out of them, but make sure you talk to your children what's acceptable and what's not acceptable, especially if you go out of your house and you've never gone out of your house all the time. Please do, right? Also, I would suggest to keep your friendships real and network as many as possible as long as you can. Right, sisters? Yep. Any last minute thing before we leave? Susana?
No.
Nope, you're good. Girls' night out today. Danielle, how about you? Any last minute conversation that you would like to impose or impart with our audience? Nothing? All right. Thank you, YouTube. Thank you so much for being here. And we will see you on Tuesday. Homer will be there. And then Wednesday, Noriko. So if you guys need to know what sound healer looks like, a sound healer that's really good, she's coming on Wednesday, guys. So I will see you then. And then Thursday, I think I'm gonna do some um more AI conversations. All right. Bye everybody. See ya.